Hi there, this is Mark Anderson from Andertoons.com, and I'm going to show you how I sketch and resketch and ink a cartoon from beginning to end. So here we're starting with the first pencil sketch. The cartoon I'm going to be doing is a medical cartoon where a guy is at the doctor and the doctor is giving him some advice. So you can see I start with a circle there for the head. Now I'm drawing the legs. I go pretty fast with the initial sketch because I like to try to keep it real loose and real easy. And I know that I'm going to do a sort of cleaned up version of this for myself later on. So I'm not super worried about how things go or erasing or changing things in the first sketch. So here he is on the little table. I gotta say, this isn't one of my favorite scenes to draw because it's sort of a weird angle, but I haven't quite figured out a good way to do it yet and get the idea of being in that waiting room at the doctor. Okay, here's the doctor. I'm putting a little bit different hair on him. I didn't draw the rest of the guy's legs over on the left because I'm planning on cutting the scene off there. I've drawn this scene a lot, so I know that I'll probably cut it off right there so I don't even go all the way down. Yeah, you can see I'm not even worrying, like, I'm drawing his arm right over the rest of him. Again, this is a very, very quick sort of dirty sketch. This part, it only takes a few minutes. So see, I'm sort of framing it in. There see, I've sort of framed it in. I'm putting in some more details, making things a little darker for myself. I don't know what that line over there is. The one for the patient's other arm. I don't know, what am I doing there? Oh, I'm giving him. Oh, I changed it to a gown. It's been a little while since I looked at this. For a second there, I thought I was giving him a really long arm. I'm changing it to a gown because I hate drawing the guys in the boxer shorts at the doctor because it's sort of a weird angle to draw the shorts from with the legs coming out. Yeah, that's right. So I changed this to a like a gown, like he got into a gown to be examined. There, I'm just finishing things. I don't really need to sign this first sketch. I don't know why I'm doing that. But all right, we're going to be moving on to the cleaned up sketch here in just a second. But there's one last look at the rough sketch. And here we're back. There, oh, now I'm turning on my light desk at the table there and getting my couple of pieces of paper lined up. And trust me, it'll focus here in just a second. So I have a drawing or a drafting table, and then I have a real flat light desk that I keep on top of it. And then I use my giant hand there to keep you from seeing things. Now I'm doing the cleanup sketch. This is like another chance for me to uh, work on things that I liked and didn't like in the sketch before I ink it. I don't necessarily need to do this, but I found over the years that it actually saves me time to do this sort of cleanup sketch, even for myself. I do this for clients a lot because if you show a client that rough sketch, that beginning sketch, and then you say, well, here it is, what do you think? They're all like, oh, it's terrible. So you can't show them, you have to show them a cleaned up sketch. And I found over the years that doing a cleaned up sketch for myself like this moves things along because you leave it real rough and then you go right to ink. At least for me, I find that I find little problems then, and I end up inking two or three times sometimes on a complicated cartoon. So over the years, I've just gotten used to doing this sort of like re-sketch for myself. So basically, I'm tracing, but I'm trying to trace quickly and lightly, and I'm not. Again, I don't want to get bogged down in all kinds of nitpicky details because then you sort of leach the life out of the cartoon. And I don't want that. I want it to look sort of dashed off, like I just sat down with my pen and ink and just went, oh, look, oh, the cartoon just flows. Who knows where they come from? You want it to look like that, but it doesn't ever work like that. So there's the finished cleanup sketch, and I'm turning off the light desk so you can get a better look at it. Focus. Focus. And so there's the rough sketch. It's sort of messy. And there's the cleaned up sketch for me. Rough sketch. Clean up sketch. Rough sketch. Clean up sketch. All right, now what I'm going to show you is I take this cleaned up sketch, and this is mainly because I'm getting old and my vision isn't what it once was. I take this cleaned up sketch and I scan it. Oh, it's big. I scan it in. I have a little self-feeding scanner. So I take this sketch here and I scan it in, and then I blow it up. I print it out at about, I don't know, 150%, something like that. And then this is what I'll do the ink off of. I used to... Oh, upside down cartoon. See, I use the same piece of paper to do a bunch of cartoons. So yeah, up there at the top, you see the other cartoon that I was working on upside down. Now I'm taping this on, taping my like ink paper onto the sketch here so that it doesn't move while I'm working on it. Yeah, I generally work small, but I found like in the past year, I need to work bigger. But I don't sketch big, and I like my sketches to be what they are, and I don't want to change how big I sketch. So I found the way works for me is I don't worry about anything when I'm sketching and then once I'm done with it, then I blow it up to a size that I feel comfortable inking. So that way I feel like I'm staying true to the original sketch. But then I can draw something that I can see, and the line isn't, like an inch thick when you're done. All right, so I'm doing some inking here. You see, I move pretty fast. I'm not worried about getting every line exactly as they were on the sketch. The sketch is sort of a guide more than anything. And I'm just trying to move fast and loose, and again, keep that spontaneity in the final art that I had in the sketch, hopefully. Now, this is, of course, like the third time I've done this little piece, so every time it becomes a little clearer and a little more finished, but I really don't want it to be dead on the page, so I try to move fast and easy and just keep it, fresh. There I'm drawing the tie, putting in my little details there. All told, like to do the first sketch and then the second sketch and then going here to ink, this video clocks in at just about 9.5 minutes. Of course, there's time for scanning stuff in, and I still need to shade it. I'll do that in Photoshop. I used to do it with markers, but I found now that I'm working bigger with my inks, it was taking so much time with the markers, and I was using so many markers that's another thing that's changed recently is I do all of my shading in Photoshop now. I recreated my markers, my Prismacolor markers, into like an endless pattern in the different percentages in Photoshop, and that's what I use for shading now. It looks pretty good, and I try to keep that as organic as possible. Well, here's that gown again. That's looking pretty good. There's his legs coming down. I don't like to draw feet, so if I can cut that off so I don't have to draw feet, I'm doing it. I'm cheating. I'm terrible at feet. So unless I really have to draw them, I don't. So it's looking like a pretty good scene. It's just about done here. Need to add my signature. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you can check out this cartoon on my website. I forget which number it is, but just look under medical or doctor and you'll see it. And here it is. I'm turning off the tracing, and there you go. So hope you liked it. Andertoons.com.